Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, guys. So this one is about remember this verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. Okay, those who believe in the unseen. Now, so we are going to define what is the unseen. Now, for you to see something, you see it with your eyes, right? You see it. Okay, that's seeing. For something to be unseen is like you cannot see it with your eyes. Okay, that's unseen. Okay, now for something to be unseen, it can also doesn't need to be like your eyes. It can be something you heard. It can be something that becomes apparent to you or something like that. So it's not everything that is like. So that's the whole point. The whole point is that even though you don't see something with your eyes, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So that's the argument. Just because you cannot see something with your eyes, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because you cannot hear something, it doesn't mean there's no sound. Just because you cannot feel something, it doesn't mean it's not there. So therefore, the unseen can be maybe historical stuff. Like, just because you were not there 2,000 years ago, it doesn't mean people were not living there. It doesn't mean something like some event didn't happen. Just because, so that's one. Just now, if there's a room and someone asks you, is there somebody in this room? You can say, I don't know. But you cannot say it's impossible for somebody to not be in the room. Do you understand? So just because you cannot see inside the room, you cannot negate the possibility of someone being there. So if you believe in the Ghaib, you believe in the unseen in that sense. Okay, so angels, just because you cannot see angels, it doesn't mean they don't exist. Just because you cannot see all of these things. Now, there's another deeper level, okay, that I will say, maybe the one that I just explained of someone being in the room or historical things, that is the unseen of this world. Then the unseen of the next world are things like angels and things like that. Now, God is on another level because is those things, maybe if you go and look for them, you can see them. You're just not there yet. So if you see an angel, maybe you see how big it is and things like that. But what about an immaterial thing? Something that is immaterial, it doesn't have size, it doesn't have space. That one is also unseen. And it's much more fundamental that you cannot see it in that sense. Okay? You cannot see it in the sense that you see other things like extended in space. So therefore, that one is even deeper. Okay, so that is what I mean by unseen. So my argument now is I want to extend it into immateriality. How do people move from to believe in atheism, for instance? They are not theists anymore. They don't believe in God. They have a problem with immateriality. That's my notion. They have a problem with immateriality. They are trying to say that, you know what, we cannot see God, so we don't believe in God. Now, it's not just it is not like the common argument everyone makes that my own argument is deeper. I want to show that they already believe in immaterial things. They are not just like, they believe in a lot of immaterial things. But if they believe that, why and how do they believe in immaterial things? Those things exert force and they see like the result. Maybe that will be their rebuttal. Like, at least we see the force, we can measure it and things like that. But that immaterial stuff doesn't exist in a way that you can see it, like matter, like material. It doesn't have size, it doesn't have it's not extended in space or something like that. And yet you believe it. So if you move to immaterial things are actually nothing in space, they are nothing in space. Okay, so if they are nothing and yet they exist, if you can believe that even though it's nothing in space, it doesn't have any extension in space, it does exist. If you can believe that, then you shouldn't have any problem believing in God. Because other people that are staunch, maybe materialists and things like that, they will say, if something doesn't have extension in space, it becomes reduced like a point, and if even a point has a size. So if something has no point, it is zero. It is non-existent. And is either nothing or something. If something has no size, it is nothing. Therefore, it doesn't exist. Only material things exist. That will be the like. But if you don't believe in that, if you think something can exist and yet not be material, if you believe that, then you have no argument saying you don't believe in God. So that's my whole point. If you can, so there are 3 levels now: nothingness, absolute nothingness, and then you have immateriality. that doesn't have any extension, and then you have material things that have extension. Is it if you move from material to nothing, to nothing, that's materialism. Okay, is either any of the two. But if you can understand immateriality, you have no argument against the existence of God. Okay, maybe you don't believe in religion, but the existence of God, you have no argument against that. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. See you guys later. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.